Hello everyone, welcome. My name is MJ Pestridge. Welcome to another Sim Market Spotlight review. This one's going to be a bit longer than 5 minutes. We're looking at the Grand Caravan from Caravan. This is the HD series, and it's available for FSX P3D versions 2 to 4. I'm using it in version 5, and there is a link down below how you can utilize any Caravan product in versions 5 and 6. Caravan have only really updated their products for FSX up to P3D version 4 officially, but there is a way you can actually install and use them in 5 and 6, and they all do work fine. You might have to tweak a couple of things, lighting and maybe textures, but other than that it's absolutely fine. But this is a look or a review, I guess, at the Caravan Grand Caravan. So it comes with HD quality textures, 2K. It's customizable panel for controlling seat configuration, window transparency, 3D knobs, cargo pods. It has a checklist system built within it as well. That's a pop-up. As well as that, you've got your other configurators for the static elements. You can add or remove the cargo pod. You can have 3D knobs or 2D knobs. And also there is a seats configuration. So you can have single aisle seating, or you can have a double and a single, depending on which one you want to do. There is also a door menu here where you can open and close all your doors. And that is it. Now, there is an expansion pack to this, the Super Cargo Master expansion pack. So you need this one first, and then you can have the cargo version just for an extra tenner. This is priced €38 on the Sim Market website. There is a link down in the description box below where you can go and get it. This was published in 2017 on the 16th of November. So it's pretty old, but it still works. And it also fully works if you set it up with GSX as well. So we're going to call a GPU units to come and give us some power, and we're going to go for a little flight in this, and I'll talk about all the options of what it is and what it can do. I have modified this version a little bit. I've added a sound pack which is available from Turbine Studios. You can get their sound pack, but I've used a free one from FS Sound Studio, which again I'll link it down in the description box below. So I've replaced some of the engine sounds, but this version actually the sounds are mapped on a real PT6A Pratt & Whitney Canada engine, so it does come with original high quality
baggage handling is complete and the aircraft is clear, sir.
So it does come with original high quality digital stereo sounds recorded from a real engine, although you might not be sort of 100% happy with them, so you can replace them both freeware and payware options. As well as that, it comes with 5 high definition paint schemes with 2K textures, and of course you can add your own liveries fairly easy. So I've set it up in a cold and dark state here, so we're going to quickly run through a quick setup here. So now, like any Caravan plane, if you sit in your plane for long enough, even if you haven't turned your battery on, there is a timer on the battery. So as soon as you load into your aircraft, that timer is like a 10-minute timer, starts counting down, and once it expires, you will then not be able to charge your battery. It's like it runs dry basically. So obviously I've called a external power unit here from GSX, but that's just a visual model that actually does nothing for this plane. It's literally just for a bit of immersion. In fact, while I explain about this next section, let's call the fuelers, which actually does integrate with the plane. So right now I have 0 fuel in my plane. It's just me sitting in there. So I'm going to call for some fuel now, and we're going to load up with a bit of fuel. So like I was talking about the battery, so as soon as you flick on the battery, or as soon as you load into the plane, you've got like 10 minutes and then it will run flat. There is a little trick you can do to stop this from happening, and it will simulate the ground power unit. If you go into the aircraft CFG file, which you'll find in SimObjects Airplanes for this plane, and you scroll down to the electrical section, which is past all the liveries and cameras, past all the weight and balance, there is a electrical system somewhere down here, and it says, it might not even say this line of code here, it might just be nothing, but basically if you add electrical always available equals 1, you will always have electrical running through your system, which means you can sit here for an hour if you wanted to before starting anything up. So we're going to have 25% of fuel. We're only going to go for a fly around the island here of Puerto Rico. So once they fuel me up, we will start going. So what do you get when you get this plane? You get loads of manuals, by the way. You have a performance reference PDF. There is a weather radar manual. There is a avionics manual. There is a checklist manual, and there is an instrumentation telling you exactly what everything does in the flight deck. These are really super helpful PDFs that come with it, explaining how you do the auto pilots, how you work the weather radar, which does work even in version 5. It even explains how you can tilt your radar to either have the scanning go out in front of your plane or above or below. And then of course you've got your performance reference charts here for best climb, takeoff, and all that. Right, so they fueled us up. Let's get the battery started, and I'm going to put on the standby power, and we will put the fuel pumps on and put these on as well. Now a lot of the click spots here, like the oxygen, doesn't actually do anything for the plane. It will rise the oxygen system, but obviously, you're at your PC, you're not sucking any oxygen in, so it doesn't actually do anything. There's a few of these buttons here which, are clickable, but don't actually have any effects on the aircraft itself. So, now we can put our beacon light on, and we can turn on the avionics. And if we come over here, it comes with its own original GNS system here, the Garmin unit here, the 430. So you can push the button here to tune in, let's say if you're going to be on FLIGHTSIM, you can tune into their code to talk to pilots and whatnot. The click spots are just above and below for the two things. It doesn't work the same as later models where you can actually the inner and outer dial. This one, it's above and below. In fact, all the click spots run a little bit differently in this version. This is like the original Grand Caravan from Coronado. It's better than default, but only just. So there is also an EX series which comes with full glass cockpit, which works a lot better. And has a lot more functionality, and the click spots are probably more what you'd be used to. So I'm not going to be tuning in VORs. This is a visual flight, but I will pretend to set a transponder and turn the flight director on, and we're going to go up to we'll go up to like 5,000 feet. We'll see how it goes. We might not go up to 5,000, so we'll set that in now. So that's the flight autopilot setup. We are on the ground, so that needs to be pulled, which it is. That's basically it. So we put the navigation light on and the generator, and we can get ready to start this engine up. So it does have a fuel system modeled in here. So what you want to do first is run the fuel through your tanks a little bit, and then open up your throttle. in order to start the engine. Now the sounds I have replaced with custom sound pack, so the sounds might not be what you will hear when you get your version. We don't need any pitostat heating because it's quite warm outside. It is 15 degrees, so we won't need any of that. I will move this pilot seat out the way so I can see out my window, and we will remove the ground elements as well, so get rid of them. And let's start this engine up, shall we? So put the ignition on and starter motor to that and feed the fuel in now. Now once the fuel gets fed in, I tend to knock the mixture back and the prop control, otherwise this thing starts to take off. You can easily see it's already moving forward there. So even though the parking brake is on, now if you are not quick enough with that, you can overrun your engine and it will start to move even though your parking brake is set. That's probably a glitch in how this plane was coded, but there, like I said, there is a way you can prevent that just by being very quick with turning off the fuel flow and the ignition and the starter and minimizing your propeller mixture and throttle controls. So now that that's set up, we can set that, flaps for takeoff and trim set for takeoff. The strobe light's going to go on, the taxi light's going to go on, and the wing lights, which already should have been on. And that basically, now we can put this to engine, and there we go. And we look across the board. Now at the end of the day, this is no study level, you know, simulated aircraft. This is more for fun flying, you know. Let's take our parking brake off and let's taxi out to the runway, which is just here. Now, like I said, this is just really for fun. This isn't a study level version, but you know, you can have fun in this. You know, it's friendly on the FPS. It has a fully interactive cockpit. It has all the moving parts you'd expect: the ailerons, the elevators, the rudders, the flaps. In fact, the flaps are quite nicely modeled, I'd say. It has realistic lighting on the panels, and it also comes with, if we turn it to nighttime, a nice night, although it is baked in, but you can turn on a nighttime cabin and turn off the gauges and have various setup here with night lighting available. Right, let's go this way. It has a 3D modeled pilot as well. If you look from the outside, when you first load in, you might see him in there. Pretty cool, looks like Tom Cruise. And it also, oh, I didn't actually show the night lighting, so let's see. You got your taxi lights and you got your runway lights. So runway lights, taxi lights, they all work nicely. Right, let's get onto the runway, so we'll turn on our taxi light. Also separate switches for instrument lights and cabin lights, so you can flick these on. Now the cool thing is this has a real behavior compared to the real airplane. It's been tested by real Grand Caravan pilots, so like this might be an old simulation, you know, an old version of the Grand Caravan, but you know, if you prefer steam gauges like I do as opposed to a glass cockpit, then this actually probably will be your preferred one to use. Right, let's put the mixture up, the prop up. Now this does not need a lengthy runway. We're halfway down the runway. We don't need a lengthy runway to take off, so we're going to put the what is it called, the inertial separator, and we now are going to set our power. So we're looking for props just below the 20 and our RPMs at about 90%. So you want to make sure that is in there. Power is set for takeoff now. So it only needs, you know, 60 to 80 and we're up in the air. So flaps up. Now, it is really fun to fly. It doesn't actually take that much to master it. It's fairly easy. It's fairly sort of feels like, you know, what I would expect a Caravan to feel like. I've never flown a Grand Caravan in my life, in real life, but I can imagine this is kind of what it would feel like. It's it doesn't feel light and it doesn't feel heavy. It kind of feels like this sort of sized plane. So we're going to stick on the autopilot now. So let's set our pitch level and we then stick on the autopilot. And we've already put in the heading and the altitude, and this will start now sort of sending us up at about 1,000 feet per minute, which obviously, you know, you can move up and down using the down and up button here. So if we want to go to a more harsh pitch there up, we can tap that a few times and that will do that. Now, like I said, I've replaced the inner sounds and the outer sounds with a sound pack, and when I did this annoying little ding is happening and I do not know how to get rid of it. So if anybody has any ideas, please, I'm all ears, because it is a bit of an annoying ding. Right, bleed air needed to be on, and the air conditioning. Now, like I said, these buttons here for air conditioning, bleed air, and for the vent, the alternate static, they do nothing really, but they are a part of the checklist. So, you know, they're buttons to click at the end of the day. You can toggle the yoke if you don't want to see it. It's very responsive. I'd say that this actually is a good plane to fly around in. You know, a bit of VFR flying and fun to fly. I do, in the cargo version of this, I actually do cargo ops using the Pilot Life app, which actually in a future video I will be reviewing. But yeah, this is an old school plane simulation and it works in current sims. That's why I'm pretty much doing this video, to show how it does work in current P3D. So this is version 5. I've even tested it in version 6 and it works fine. In fact, it actually looks a lot better in version 6. The sort of prop here is a proper blurred. You can see the sort of the blurry engine wash coming off the propeller in version 6, which is missing from version 5. But yeah, it does what it needs to do. Right, so yeah, let's we're just going to leave it at 3,000 to be honest. So altitude on, and that will now come down, and then we can basically turn that off and reduce our props and engine power to save on fuel, and we should get about 130 on the old speed dial here. And let's do a turn back to the airport. We're going to land this puppy. So it's I really do enjoy flying this, and I'm not a big fan of, you know, glass cockpit displays, so I do like the old steam gauge version. Let's turn the weather radar on. So the weather radar does work here. There it is, it's filling in, and if we use the up, it will turn up the radar, so it will read clouds above us. If we turn it down, it will read the cloud what's below us. So obviously no clouds below us. Okay, if we tilt it back up again, and it's reading the clouds above us. Which at the moment we got some off to our right here, so it doesn't tell you, give you any indication of if it's tilted up or down, which is a bit of a burn. You can do the rings, so we can have local or further out, weather. These buttons don't do anything. The track buttons, not really sure what they do, but it's all in the manuals. Right, let's, where's the airport gone? The airport is over there, so we need to do another turn. So to move the heading bug, it's not what you think it is, it's the reverse. So like I said, the click spots are a little bit different in this, more akin to FSX than sort of current, what you'd expect in P3D or current Carenado. But at the end of the day, this is a fun plane to fly. It's much better than the default in FSX, and of course in P3D there is no Caravan default that you can fly. There is only, I believe, a AI model. So to be honest, you know, this will do. Like, if you like the steam gauge version of the Grand Caravan, you know, beautiful. If you prefer the older style way of flying a plane as opposed to glass cockpit, absolutely fine. And it does come with a sound pack from Turbine Sound Studios, which is like €16. There is the airport we're landing at, so let's line up. So the runway I think is like 10 or 28, something like that, so we'll start our downwind, which, you know, has external engine sounds, internal engine sounds, wind sounds, cockpit sounds. Like, Turbine Sound Studios are very good makers of sound packs. I really recommend them for enhancing any plane. I'm using a free, I think a mixture of the freeware and the payware. So, and I'll link, as I say, the payware down below. And if you're interested in getting this in version 5 and 6, like I have, there is a patch in my Discord, but also I'll put a link down in the description box to the Carenado website, where you can also get their patch to be able to fly these planes in current P3D. And that's basically it. There's not much more to say, really. So let's take this puppy now by the hands. We're going to turn off the autopilot, and we're going to land this plane here. So let's bring our throttles back a bit, and we'll just turn in for final, I guess. And she'll go down gently. We'll put a bit of elevator trim to the nose down position, and we'll set a stage of flaps. Now, if you're flying in version 5 and you have active sky weather or even default, you will get a bouncy Caravan experience. I'm not running a weather engine at the moment, but if you have active sky or a weather engine, you will feel the turbulence of the volumetric skies. This plane does react to that. It sort of has this bobbing bounce feel, which the wind, you know, flying through. As well as that, if you have AccuFeel installed, you can set this up as well for, this is just sounds though, doesn't actually do anything in terms of physics, but it adds a level of realism to it. So let's, we're going to do a very short field landing here. So strobe lights will come on, that will go in, and props a bit more forward, and we're ready for landing. We'll have another stage of flaps, I think. That should do us. Here we are on our base turn into the runway. We're a bit high, but we'll soon sort this out. Like I said, I do have the cargo expansion as well, and if you want me to review that and have a look at it, let me know. Now, at the end of the day, the textures, you know, even for P3D version 5 and 6 standard, you know, aren't great. I don't have any anti-aliasing running here, so but at the end of the day, I think they look okay. This is, you know, flight simulation should be more about the plane and how you fly it rather than what it looks like. Like, I ain't too bothered into the looks of simulators, otherwise I'd be at Microsoft. But I'm more into flying a plane, and at the end of the day, I really think Caravan Auto do have actually good planes that actually mimic their real-life counterpart. People slate on Caravan Auto unfairly, I think, because I think they actually do produce good planes that do, you know, work in the real world, and yet easy to fly, make it fun to fly. Right, we're coming in fast and hard, so this is literally going to be a turn and burn on a short runway. So here we go. Daddy's got the plane. Here we go. Well, in fact, we'll have full flaps on this sucker, just for stability. And this should be an easy one, he says. Here we go. Speed's coming down. We're coming down. Welcome to Puerto Rico. We'll have a chimichanga waiting for us at the gates. Okay. We're all set up now, nice and easy. You can also fly on an ILS approach on this. Obviously, it doesn't have, you know, RNAV capabilities, but you can, I guess, if you cheated and used Navigraph maps. But yeah, total VOR flying experience, really fun, and yeah, I recommend getting it. The link is down in the description box to Sim Market. I currently am flying it, the cargo version, for my pilot's life career, and I'm having a blast doing it. And this is gonna be butter, guys. Get the toast ready. Here comes the butter, baby. And we just literally pop it on. Boom. She's down. Now when she's down, we turn the inertial separator off. We put the mixture down, and we turn these engines, and she will come to a stop soon. Ground on. Turn off the flight director and the transponder. Get rid of these, don't need that. Here's our turn off. Pop a little brake, and taxi light on, landing light off. And there she goes. We'll just roll straight in behind this DHL, shall we? Another Caravan. There's a few Caravans here at this airport. Caravans are all the rage, guys. VFR flying. This can actually go, with its oxygen system on, up to like 13,000 feet, guys. 15,000 feet. Although somebody thinks they're taking off with an ATR. There we go, guys. Let's full stop it here. I don't think this is a parking spot, but we'll take it. Brakes. Cut the fuel. Turn the pumps off. And I'm also going to show you how good GSX does work with it. We're going to throw up some cargo. If I can get rid of these pop-ups. Right. Let's load the plane up now, shall we? Oh, we need to actually be at a gate. Right, let's load up the plane, shall we? So we're going to get the cargo loaded. And just to show you how well it does work, because it does actually have a section, although this isn't a cargo plane, but they'll load the bags up nonetheless. So let's wait here while they load up these. Don't know what the stairs are doing, but yeah, GSX you can make it work with GSX fully. Obviously, you just put the points in yourself, and everything is a good one. And that's it, guys. Basically, thank you so much for watching this Sim Market review. It's a little bit more than 5 minutes, but this is the Grand Caravan, guys. Go purchase it if you haven't already got it. It's a joy to fly, and I would say it's the best Caravan in P3D available. Very accurate, very fun, and that's basically it. Don't forget, every month I do a giveaway for Flight Sim vouchers for Sim Market Flight Sim vouchers. 50 euros I give away. To be in with a chance to win, just be a subscriber to my channel, leave a comment down in any one of my Flight Sim videos, and at the end of the month I go live with a vlog and announce the winner, which actually I need to do today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.
Baggage handling is complete and the aircraft is clear, sir.